Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to another episode in my preview series for the upcoming Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today in this episode we're going to be having a look at my local area because, let's be honest, that's one of the first things that pretty much everyone in this sim is going to do when they get it, given the fact that it's been touted as being the sim that is, the most up-to-date and the most realistic when it comes to the world around us. So today, what I'm going to be doing is, you guys are going to get a sneak peek into the world, into my world. So since I moved down here to Newcastle in Australia, so we're going to be test flying one of the other aircraft in this sim as well. So aircraft that I haven't sort of seen a lot of people sort of really get into. So I want to give it a go because there is actually a couple of these operating near me. So I'd like to maybe give them a try one day. So let's have a look here today. So today we're going to be flying. We're going to be flying in the JMB aircraft VL3. We're going to be flying in today. Now, just to give you guys a bit of an example here, so this is, again, so we've got the global map, we're running live weather, live traffic today. And as I said, we are running down here in Newcastle, which is kind of interesting. It's actually tagged as like a city or a point of interest, which is interesting as well. It's kind of cool. So we're going to be leaving here from Aero Pelican, which is a local airstrip to me. Well, it's actually not the nearest, because my nearest airstrip is actually where I work here at Williamtown. So we're going to be coming up, we're going to be taking off from Aero Pelican, going through some areas that I know fairly well. We're going to see if we can find my house, and then we're going to head on to Williamtown and do the landing there. So, because I know some people are curious about how are smaller airports and how are military airports going to be fielded in this sim. So as I said, we're going to be getting started here at Aero Pelican. So we're going to start here on one of the ramps, set as our departure. I'm not going to set an arrival airport just because I don't want to be any interference with any kind of like ATC directions or stuff like that. I want us to go for a bit of an explore, because I'll be honest, I did a bit of exploration during the alpha testing, but I didn't really do a lot. So this is going to be a bit new for me as well. We might change that one to parking 2 so we don't have it start at the fuel ramp. And then let's have a look at our aircraft. So I did want to show this off, and this is kind of a little bit narcissistic of me, but I'm totally going to do it. You can, very similar to previous Microsoft Flight Sim titles, is that you can change your tail number and call sign, flight numbers and stuff like that, and show them. And I've put Nova 24 in there because I can. You can check your weight and balance beforehand. We're just going to run with 50% fuel. I think we should probably even run with, actually, you know what, let's just run with just about 40% of fuel. We won't really need that much. It's got, I think, about a 6-hour endurance at full fuel anyway. Livery is just the one default at the moment, so there you go. Awesome. Alright, let's get ourselves after. It's definitely very breezy here at the moment with down here in Newcastle, and I can verify that by hearing the wind howling outside my office here where I'm recording this. So let's get started. Now, our flight today is in courtesy of some Thrustmaster controls. So we've got the Thrustmaster TPR rudder, and then we've got the Thrustmaster HOTAS Warthog, because this aircraft uses a stick rather than a yoke. Alright, so here we are at Aero Pelican. So Aero Pelican is an interesting little strip. For those who are into their Red Bull air racing, it actually is the home of the Australian contingent. Matt Hall Air Racing actually sort of operates out of here, both for, well, he used to train out of here, but also now experience flights, but also offers a charter service out of here as well, which is kind of cool and kind of interesting. Alright, let's get ourselves ready to fly. Alright, so here we are in the office. Now let's get ourselves underway for flight. Let's first of all grab up our checklist. So we just have the one checklist for this little aircraft, but this should be enough for us. Alright, first off, let's get our fuel going. So we'll use our left tank to start with. Alright, we'll bring the throttle back to idle. Choke is set to full. Master battery switch is on. Avionics switch to on. Fuel pump switch to on. Alright, brakes. Okay, let's go. We're gonna have take our Put our brakes on, release parking brake, brakes off, parking brake back on. Alright, starter engage. Crack the throttle a little bit as the engine catches. Alright, engine spooled up nicely. All good. Choke is set to off. Right, looks like we are ready to go. Alright, now, have I still got my AI doing the comms? Yes, they are. Excellent. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take that one, close that one. Let's remind them to get our ATC clearance.
Yankee Lima Mike Quebec traffic JMB Aviation November Oscar Victor Alpha 24 is taxiing to runway 25.
Okay. Alright. Taxi out to the end of the runway here. Now, one of the things that every now and again I see, hopefully we won't see it today, but every now and again I do see an issue where the taxi at small airfields like this one, the waypoint marker doesn't necessarily register that you actually taxi to it. Now let me just check, because I think yeah, taxi to the edge of the runway, so it's not seen it. So this is a bug that's still present, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try re-taxiing. Still doesn't like me. Let's try this. Let's give our AI a little bit of a nudge, shall we? And let's go announce takeoff, depart to the north.
Yankee Lima Mike Quebec traffic JMB Aviation November Oscar Victor Alpha 24 taking off runway 25 north departure.
Okay. Unfortunately, yeah, I think what it's going to do is, as I said, it seems to have locked it here, which means that unfortunately it's going to be annoying us for the rest of today's flight, because I think it's going to leave with that, even though the waypoint is here on the edge of the runway, it'll actually doesn't recognize it, that we've gone through it. Anyway, alright, let's throttle up though, because it's time to depart. We'll go on our sightseeing tour despite that, because after all, we're here to see how realistic this city has been portrayed. Alright, throttle up. Gear up. Flaps up. Little bit of a dip as we transfer it, but otherwise nice and smooth. Definitely, the airport itself is laid out correctly as Aero Pelican actually is, except the trees next to it are a little higher than I remember. have to close that objective window because that's going to annoy me now for the rest of the flight, unfortunately. Alright, so a couple of things about this airfield. So I go cycling down sort of to this here, because we're flying over Lake Macquarie at the moment. And I go cycling down south of the lake on a regular basis, and my return cycle route actually takes me past Aero Pelican, which is one of the reasons why I know it so well. So I want to have a look at some of the landmarks that I know coming through this area. I want to see if they made it in. So sometimes we stop at a service station or an RSL, either for lunch or for a quick top up of nutrition on our way through. And there's a bridge that we go over, and yep, there they are. Okay, so there's the bridge there that we ride over, and it should be separated for each direction. Yes, it is. And also, do I see correctly that the traffic is driving on the correct side of the road? So here in Australia, we drive on the left, and the traffic is driving correctly. And there's the RSL. There are the shops. Yep. Yep, that is where we stop. That is all correct. Right down to the colour of the RSL. So, first tick of approval is right there. That's awesome. As I said, that marker now is going to bug me for the rest of this flight. It really is. And unfortunately, there is no way to turn it off, unfortunately. So that is going to annoy me. So let's have a follow. As I said, so we do the original IFR for doing this bit of this tour as well. I follow roads. So yes, this is the main road that runs past the back of Aero Pelican. So this is Charlestown with its shops. This is, I always remember this because this is where I got a lot of the stuff when I moved to this area. There was a lot of stuff that I needed. Oh, sorry.
Squawk 1714 JMB Aviation Alpha 24.
Looks like I'm going to take over my AI pilot is being very lazy for this. Now, this is cool seeing this. So looking at this is the correct road. Even down to the bus lane there as well. Like the fact that there's the bus lane on the side of the road there. So this isn't just generic sort of texturing here. This is actually correct. And also, if I saw correctly, yep. Just have to focus. I'm gonna have to focus. I'm gonna try and do that.
Copy JMB Aviation Alpha 24.
I thought I delegated. Hang on, let me see if I can redelegate AI. There we go. AI control the comms, because that's what I told you to do. Okay. So two things are interesting about this flight so far. Is one, how some of the photoreal is loaded and other has not, and you can sort of see the tile differentiation there. But in terms of when it is modeled, like this is generic modeling here, but this is accurate generic modeling. This is so cool. Alright, so this leads me to, I want to have a look at another nearby shopping area in Adamstown. I want to check that out. But even look at that, like the rooftop cars and stuff like that. That is cool. That's such an incredible amount of detail here. Alright, now I want to check out Adamstown, which should be down this way. I believe that should be a series of buildings over there. Okay, that's a hotel down there just by my left wingtip at the moment. And then that's a series of water tanks just down there. Like, this stuff is... This is insane. Like, this is still genuinely insane here. Alright, now I just want to throttle back here because I want to go... Because this should be Adamstown. And I picked up my smartphone from one of the stores here, so I just want to fly this over and check this out. And again, from the sky, this is definitely looking what I'm expecting. So let's have a look through here again. Rooftop car park models as well. Okay. Let's ease back on the throttle a bit because I want to do a bit more of a detail. So, oh wait, hang on. No way. Okay, that's JB Hi-Fi with the right colours on the walls. That's Bunnings. Are you kidding me? Okay, so best and less. Okay, not only are they getting buildings right where they are, they're actually, it's the correct signage. That's absolutely nuts. That is insane. My uniforms come from like a shop just over there. That is absolutely insane. Okay, so this is I think the first sim where out of the box you literally can fly true VFR. Like, this is absolutely true VFR, because you would use buildings like that as reference points during your approaches and stuff like that. Like, that is nuts. Now, okay, next big test for me is going to be, there's the major hospital for the area should be up on top of this hill. So the John Hunter Hospital is the trauma centre for the Hunter region and the north coast of New South Wales. So we actually have aeromedical flights coming in from all over the state of New South Wales to bring patients for treatment here. So this is a fairly large complex, and there it is, and there should be a helipad, I think, on the northern side of the complex. Let's have a look. So it should be on the other side of these buildings over here. Is where we should be able to see it. But look at that detail. I mean, we've got the cooling towers on the top of the car parks and the buildings. This is insane. Like, I knew it from when we saw the preview and some of the stuff we saw during the alpha, but it's a whole nother issue. It's a whole nother thing to actually see it again and be able to share it with people as well. And there it is. There is the helipad. So, alright, Microsoft, chop chop, we just need to actually get helicopters into this sim now. And also, can I just point out, the fact that they've cleared that as well and cleaned it up is a strong indication that we are going to have helicopters in this sim at some point in the hopefully not too distant future. We know it won't be there at launch, we definitely know that, but it will be coming. Oh, okay. Alright, I wanted to see that because that is just, this is insane. As I said, like, I can genuinely follow, I can see where things are, like, it's stuff that I know I drive past. Which normally, if you want to get this experience, that kind of experience with in any of our other flight sims, you need to be able to, you need to buy extras or spend a lot of time messing around with ortho photos and stuff like that. Whereas this is out of the box, is what this comes with. All right, now there's a green and white beacon over there, which is because that should be the Westpac Helicopter Services base. Is what that is. So the fact that they've modelled the beacon again, and there are the helipads out the front. That's both of them. So the fact that they've actually, so the key point about that one for me and for helicopter pilots, I think, is the fact that they've modelled the beacon. The fact that they've modelled the white and green beacon, that's an incredible piece of, like, incredible importance here, that they've actually done that, because that wouldn't have been done by an AI. There's no automated process to add that beacon in. You would actually have put that in as a service. So that's really interesting and really good news for helicopter pilots. Alright, let's go have a look at some of the other parts of Newcastle. We're going to head back over the coast. So, as I said, for those who've been following me for a while, you know I may be a triathlete. So I swim, bike, run. And one of the places that I often run along the Newcastle foreshore. So let's go have a look down at Bar Beach and out to the lighthouse. Let's have a look at that. straight away I can see exactly where I am. So that is a sports field right by Bar Beach where I run past, and there is a hill. Yep. The hill at the edge of that beach there, so I'm just going to throttle back a little bit. So the hill with the car park on the side there, I do hill intervals through there. That is nuts. And seeing and watching the waves sort of just go into the water there, like into the beach there. This is just crazy and awesome. All right, now what will be interesting is that there. Okay, yep, okay. So they didn't model the walkway, but that actually the walkway may not have been built when they did this photo, the imagery, I think. And there is the fort, and it's circling track there. King Edward Park. Onto Newcastle's main beach, and wait for it, yep, that's the pool. This is absolutely insane. Like, all of this stuff, this is true to life. This is true to life what we're seeing here, folks. This is absolutely insane. And this isn't like a major area here, by the way, folks. Like, this isn't somewhere which they've honestly, this is not going to be somewhere which they've paid, you know, a lot of attention to be like, you know, in the handcrafted airports or handcrafted regions or anything like that. This is a provincial country town in regional New South Wales. This is whatever automated processes that they've got here have done this. This is nuts. Now, again, I run out here a long way, and this is the lighthouse that overlooks the harbour entrance. That looks like it's all been accurately modelled. You can definitely see whether actually it has been automated with some of like the jagged sort of drop-offs and things like that, and where the text has been applied. But at the same time, this is pretty much what it looks like. We can see I've got the weird sort of sandcastle spikes there on the sand dune, but. And there's no trees at the end of the rock wall. There is a couple of light beacons, but still, everything else about this is just this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is insane. Wow. As I said, like, this is just absolutely nuts. And again, as I said before, like, this is the sim where this is a sim where we can truly do VFR flying, like true VFR flying. You know, the original IFR, I follow roads. Like, you know that the roads are going to be accurate now. Like, this is absolutely nuts. Okay, just watching the waves of the water and how it's interacting with the rock wall, the seawall there. That's pretty damn cool. All right, and there's one of the pools that I train at. Yeah, this is absolutely insane. It is genuinely nuts. And so impressive with this. So this is town of Stockton that we're flying over at the moment. This is town of Stockton. Now, this is a real interesting juxtaposition for me. So where I've just said, you know, this is amazing, this is all accurate and great. What we're looking at here on the left is Coorong Island. Which is a part of an industrial area, industrial estate. And I'm curious about this because the photo reel shows a lot of buildings which aren't displayed, and also some of this looks like it's been removed from there as well. That's really, really interesting. So there should be, let me power up and get some altitude, because so this is a coal terminal, coal, oil and gas terminal, this one here, and so we've got some things here, but some that obviously but it has not been put in. So that's interesting. The other thing that's glaringly missing here, this is where it's really interesting, is that you've got some stuff that's done so immaculately well, and then right there should be a bridge, and there isn't. And that's really, really interesting and that's really, really disappointing. Because what's really funny about that is that you can actually see the traffic going over where the vector data says there is a bridge, but they haven't modeled the bridge. You can see the shadow on the photo reel to show where the bridge climbs up and stuff like that. So that's interesting that it's close, but no cigar. Alright, let's head on along here. So this, as I said, we're heading towards Williamtown now, which is my local airfield, the airfield that I work at. And just up here, that is the estate that I live in. So it'd be interesting to see if my house is there, or the house that I'm renting at least is there. Alright, it's trimming out. This, by the way, this aircraft is an absolute delight to fly. It is genuinely an absolute delight to fly. It is simple, very basic. Just got the default Garmin sort of touchscreen avionics in here, but it is simple and elegant and just a joy to fly. Okay, so there's the park. There's a couple of the parks in here. That's the new part of the estate that hadn't been. It's only just started being built. There's the roundabout, and my house will be on the corner of the other roundabout. Yep, there is my house, and there is the giant tree out the side of my house that drives me insane on a regular basis for having to clean up the rubbish from it. Wow, just wow, just wow. Traffic did move through. That's just, and that's the new stage that's being opened, that's being built at the moment. That is crazy. That is genuinely, absolutely crazy. That this is where we're at as in Sims these days. Is that where we can have this kind of stuff? Like, this is just insane. All right. Enough of that. Let's head now over to Williamtown. Now, before we tell InSim ATC that we're going to land, I do want to have a bit of a look at it, because again, I want to cover off an airfield that is. So this one is a dual. So Williamtown or Newcastle Airport. So is predominantly a Royal Australian Air Force station. It is also a dual-use airport as a civilian airport. So the RAF station is known as RAAF Base Williamtown, and the civilian side of the airfield is known as Newcastle Airport. So it'd be interesting to actually let's fly over it and see how it compares to what it looks like in the real world. The side that is here, so there's Williamtown. So we've got so it's a single runway ops. So we have the hotel, so that's the hotel. We've got the industrial park there off the airport. Long-term car parks there, staff car parks there. So that's a couple of hangars, but no. Okay, so most of the infrastructure for the civilian terminal is not there. So that's interesting. So I'm just going to correct here so I can. All right, let's have a look here. Over here. Okay, so this is the military side of the field. So just looking through here. So it's fairly recent because that's the gatehouse, the new gatehouse, the new northern field entrance. So it's got all the parking there, but so the military side of the airfield is done relatively well, but only with the generic ramp spots and none of the overhead shelters. And then yes, yeah, so it's okay. So it's how it looked a few years ago. It's not 100% accurate, but at least it does have it has parking. It's just ironic that the parking that's there is on the wrong side of the airfield. So all the parking they've put in as part of Williamtown here in the sim is all for the in real life is all for the military side rather than the civilian side. But it's interesting, over here we've got the parking over on this side, which is definitely military only, so that's kind of interesting, kind of cool. Alright, let's crossing over. So yeah, you've got taxiway Alpha there. This isn't that old, this imagery as well either, because they're the two new taxiways that were built. You've got the couple of ramps for visiting aircraft, and it does show the runway extension. So, alright, let's contact ATC and let's see which way they're going to get us to land on. Because it'll be interesting because there's slightly different approaches on. As I said, the landing on the runways are going to be different based on this. Alright, Newcastle military. Tower, request full stop landing.
Willie Tower JMB Aviation November Oscar Victor Alpha 24 is 1 mile south with Yankee to land. JMB Aviation November Oscar Victor Alpha 24 Willie Tower, fly left downwind runway 30 altimeter 29 decimal 86 wind 277 at tree 5.
Cool.
JMB Aviation Alpha 24 cleared to land runway 30 wind 277 at tree 5.
Alright, so it's here. So we do our approach over the sand dunes here. Alright, 1,000 feet, 1,000 feet.
Alpha 24 acknowledge last transmission.
Oh, really, AI? Come on.
Cleared to land runway 30 JMB Aviation Alpha 24.
Apparently the AI definitely doesn't like it when your objective gets stuck and still trying to taxi. Okay. Turning base. Gear traveling. Stage 1 flaps. Alright, going in. The runway definitely has some undulations in as well, so it'll be interesting to see how these feel once I get on the ground here at Williamtown. Correction. A little high during that approach. Clean the aircraft up. Taxi out. The only thing I'm going to say about Williamtown is that the Pappies, I'm pretty sure, are a little bit closer to the threshold than where they are there. Now, if I remember correctly, my next taxiway is a fair way along. it's a fair ways away. It's pretty much, if you don't sort of stop very quickly... here we go. There it is. I just love the sound inside the cockpit as well. Like, I genuinely love the way they do that.
Alpha 24 contact ground on 121.8. Going to 121.8 JMB Aviation.
Oh, now you talk AI. Right, so there you go. So the AI doing the comms is triggered based on other things. Okay. So let's go request taxi to parking.
Willie Ground, JMB Aviation, November Oscar Victor Alpha 24 taxi to parking. JMB Aviation, November Oscar Victor Alpha 24 taxi to General Aviation, parking via taxiway Alpha. Taxiing to General Aviation, parking using taxiway Alpha JMB Aviation Alpha 24.
Alright, hopefully it won't be like last time where we got taxied into a building. That'd be nice. Okay. Racing along. So I think, yeah, I think what I'd like to see them actually have an option to, you know, when we saw at the start of this flight where it couldn't undo that that taxi beacon, be able to wait to remove that objective, so you can actually go back to being able to like have your AI do what you want it to do, like do things like, you know, respond to the radio comms if you want to let the AI do stuff like that. All right, let's taxiway into our square here. Oh, we don't have any marshals this time for this one. That's all right. Taxiing along. And stop there. No, just a little bit further forward, I think. There we go. Alright. And we'll engage the parking brake. And we'll shut the aircraft down. Okay, so let's go to fuel cutoff, and there we go, end of our flight. Okay, alright, so thank you very much for joining me on this latest episode of flying around here in the preview series for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more, and if there's anything that you would like to see on any of these installments, both here now during as part of our preview series, or perhaps and once the launch comes out, anything you'd like to see, please feel free to give a comment down in the description below, and I'll see what I can do for you guys. Alright folks, as I said, thanks very much for joining me. Don't forget as always to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.